and happy holiday season. And we are coming back for another episode of Love It or Shove It. It's me, Irina Portnova, today in the studio. And my co-host is traveling for the holidays. Bruno Gill is not with us, but I have the guests, and we have with us Jean-Luc Allaire. Jean-Luc, it's great to see you with us. Please introduce yourself and say a couple of words about yourself.
Well, my name is Jean-Luc. So I'm a transformational coach. So I help mostly women over 40s find their passion and sort it out. We'll talk a bit about this. And my program is called Passionate Life. That's an 8-week program, and I also have a 1-year program. So I'm retired from construction management when I went through the cancer adventure 7 years ago. So I proved to myself everything I've learned was working. So I decided to teach it. So
Beautiful, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about how are you? Are you in the holiday spirit yet? Do you have
yeah,
lots of snow by you?
yeah, I got a lot of snow. It's snowing really heavy here in Edmonton, Alberta. I got my Christmas tie on because I've been doing a Christmas giveaway, which we'll talk about later. And yeah, it's really Christmassy looking here. We got a lot of snow. That's kind of be fun and annoying at the same time. Beautiful. It looks beautiful, but you got to shovel it. So
Got it. Yes, yes. It's awesome just to be in that mood and the spirit, listening to the songs and just, like going along with everybody else. All right, let's touch on the topic. Today we have a very interesting topic, and we are going to talk about how to be in love without losing yourself. Tell a little bit about this. What does it mean, Jean-Luc?
well, to me, right now, I'm doing some work on what does it mean to be me. So that's a question everybody should ask themselves. What does it mean to be me? And when I work with people, when my clients, we first thing we do, we sort out the purpose and also your passions. And the problem is that we have passion that doesn't belong to us. And when we hit the 40s or 50s, we start questioning ourselves. So to me, when I ask a question, what does it mean to be me? What do I love and what is it I don't like and I want to get rid of, or other things that might still fit in because you were given a passion. You picked it up like from your parents. In my age group, you had to be a lawyer or a doctor. Some kids picked it up, but then they're 40, 50, and that's not what their passion was. And then you got your siblings, then you got teenage, which you get most affected by the cool kids. You pick up things there that are not yours. And the most is your spouse. A lot of time we get into a relationship, you want to please the other person, and you jump into what they love. And that's when at one point you start questioning, what is mine? So to me, you have to decide what is it you truly love and what is it truly don't love, and the one in the middle. For example, I got a friend, she goes camping with her husband. Her husband loves camping, but she loves camping, but the only reason she goes is because he does everything. So she loves to be in nature. She loves to do the trail and the activities they do, but she hates putting up tent or doing a fire or all the other stuff that goes with it. So it's not her passion, but she doesn't hate it, but she likes it. But right now, if she was to have to go alone without a husband that does everything, there'd be a clear no. Right. So we have things that we'll do with our spouse because there's a but. As long as the conditions are there, you'll do it, like the camping thing. So to me, my passion is downhill ski and scuba diving. Not all my ex-partners were involved in this. Like the skiing, not everybody likes downhill skiing. They're just scared. So I either go alone or go with friends. And the scuba diving, I've been to the holidays, and the partner, she didn't like scuba diving. So it was claustrophobic, but she loved being on a boat. Perfect. You stay in the boat, I go scuba diving. You can't scuba diving for hours. You can only go for half an hour to 45 minutes. I'm happy. She's happy. So the thing is, what I do, a client, we sort it out. What is you? What is that you like? Right. And that's go back to always question, what does it mean to be me? Right? And the thing is, when you do this, your relationship gets better. Like it could be a little bit of fight, but you have to be certain. It's like you can tell your spouse, no, I really don't like this.
You know what?
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
know what comes to me when you're sharing? I don't like either scuba diving. I'm also claustrophobic. It's funny as you're sharing. He talks about me. And downhill, forget about it, right? Not my style. So yes, like I could totally relate. And another thing that I wouldn't enjoy doing, like to go to any sports games, because I'm not into sports, right? I mean, like if I ever go, it would be something like swimming. That would be the only sport I would enjoy watching, or figure skating, right? And gymnastics, that's it. But all these baseball games or other games, like I don't really care for them. But and I understand, like if my partner would want to go with his friends, I would be like totally fine, right? As long as I have my space. I think it's very important, not necessarily even to be there for your partner, or the partner to be with you if they like truly like against it, but just like have that time for ourselves, right? When I can go out and do whatever fills my cup. Let's say if I want to go to the art gallery and my partner doesn't care, so I can take my girlfriend and we can go together. Or if I have to go to the spa for the whole day just to have my experience, right? So I think it's very important, not necessarily like you said, if at least your friends partner, she likes to be in the nature. But what if the person doesn't like completely any experience, right? For instance, for me, I wouldn't even be able to stay on the boat because I'm very seasick, right? So for me, that experience wouldn't work whatsoever. So I think it's like finding that time, like, okay, you go fishing, right? If you have to go fishing because that's something you like, to wake up like 4 in the morning, right? Do it. And I'm just going to stay and I'm going to go like with my girlfriends to whatever I enjoy doing, right?
So yeah, I think it's very important. I think there's a time in our life where we thought that we had to be with our spouse 100% of the time, which is not good because then you create friction, you get frustrated. So you have to define who you are, and that's yourself. You cannot ask your partner. You got to do for yourself and see what the things you really enjoy, and then the ones you really don't, and the ones you can
Mm-hmm.
do with your partner. But like I say the but because in case like I said the example of camping, but he has to do everything. Well, not everything, but most of
Mm-hmm.
the stuff. Then she'll go, but there's other places that you wouldn't go, and that's where the we deal with jealousy and not trusting. So these are big issue. If he goes with
Mm-hmm.
his friends for a hockey game, then it's different than if he goes to the bar and drinking and parties. So it's not the same thing we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about like going for ski by himself or going for um, in the woods. Like my buddy, he's got his motorbikes where they do like cross country biking and stuff. And his wife doesn't go with him, but his son goes with him. So these are things that you can make sure that you understand and fit, and then really stand your ground in what you want in life and your partner. And then there is differences, and that's where you have to agree. Okay, when you do this, I can go to a spa, or I can just stay home and read a book, or go for a nap, because a lot of us are
Mm-hmm.
working hard. And if your partner is going to do something with a friend, or go visit somebody that you don't really like or you don't get along with, fine, go. And then you can have your time to yourself. And it's very important. And that's what we deal with, right? To be able to do things separately, but not all of it, because then you're not a couple. It's just enough
Mm-hmm.
that the other person is happy and you're happy. And then when you're together, you're happy. But if you stop each other from doing the things you love, then you're both unhappy. And that's the
I
part.
what comes to me, Jean-Luc, it's like it's so important to also have ourselves, right? Like we were talking about, not losing ourselves in that partnership, still understanding that we are complete on our own, and we have also our things. And I think that me time is super important for each person. And once you understand that, it's okay to have that space, because this is the space where we feel in with our energy when we do something that we like to do. Maybe sometimes it's even to be like by yourself, right? Let's say when we are doing the meditation, or when we are joining, let's say, for me as a woman, circle, to do something kind of retreat, right? Of course, I'm not dragging my partner there, right? But the idea is, it's all about just like understanding that. it's okay for us. And I think it's like it's okay to have some kind of agreement, right, within the family or the partnership, where you say, hey, there are certain days where, out of the months, where I want to do X, Y, and Z. And like, I'm sure you have something else that you would love to do, right? Why don't we take, let's say, Saturday, one Saturday of the month, and that's the time when you can do something you love to do, and I can do what I love to do.
The thing I found with the woman, because I work with a lot of women, is the mother instinct. And the mother instinct is very hard to fight back because you take care of everybody but yourself. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we learned, that you have to take care of you, because when you're drained, you're not helping your family, you're not helping your friends, you're not helping anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what we do, we make dates. Like, when I was working construction, I was working 24 days straight and sometimes 12, 14 hours. And I had on my calendar date with the couch. And people get
Mm-hmm.
laugh at me. What does that mean? It's like, I haven't been home 24 days. I'm going to be home for only 4 days or whatever. Saturday is my date with my couch. I'll be on the couch. I will have popcorn and pop, and I'll be watching a couple of movies. Like, because I was burned out, and
Mm-hmm.
but it was my thing. So I had to write it down because everybody wanted my time when I had the days off. So, and then I would say, okay, no, this either Friday or Saturday is my couch date, and they would look at me
Mm-hmm.
funny. But it's little tricks like this that we learn. So a lot of the time, that one might not work for somebody, but other tricks will work. Where can we fit you? What you love to do, or just like watching a movie, sitting down. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
women won't do that. They'll just be going and going and going. And the nighttime, they ding laundry, they're
Mm-hmm.
cooking for the week, or they're doing other stuff. And if they have another job, they won't take time for themselves because they take care of everybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we come in, like coaches like us. That's okay. No, you have to take care of you. How can we do that? Let's make a
Mm-hmm.
plan. Let's make a strategy. And that's why I love to talk to people, because I always give a strategy call for a half hour for free. And I give them nuggets like this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's do it. Put it on the calendar, or do some notes here, or make sure everybody else around you, you ask for help. A lot of times you don't
Mm-hmm.
ask for help. And they don't know. Like, the kids don't read. You should know better. No, they don't. If you didn't ask, they don't know. Right?
Right.
Even teenage kids, they can do a lot of stuff, but mom's been doing it all the time. They don't realize she's tired or burned out because they see her like that. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to take care of ourselves in all situations. And how do you do that? Is to find what you love. If you take a break and do something you don't care about or don't love, you don't get re-energized. You don't get your
Mm-hmm.
energy back. So when you do something you love to do, like even a bubble bath, so
Mm-hmm.
most people love that, right? A couple of candle, you can have a book, and just like relax and just re-energize you, right? And there's a lot of little tricks like this. Just going for coffee with a friend. It's not much sometimes, but you disconnect for a little bit, and then that kind of brings your energy up. And that's what we have to find all these little tools to make sure you connect to yourself all the time and take care of you. And that's so important. People lose themselves for
Mm-hmm.
other people, and especially the moms. Like, even though the kids are grown, they have that all around them. They take care of everybody, and it's fine. But at one point, you got to take care of you. You can't lose yourself. You got to do what you love to do. Like, you love people. Like, I love cooking. So when people come here, on my mom's side, because I took care of my kids when they grew up, I was the mom and dad. And my feminine side, I love to cook. I love to feed people. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do it all the time. When I have big suppers, I love doing it. Like, it's a lot of work, but that just fills me up. So when I have one a
Mm-hmm.
big supper on a Saturday or Sunday, where there's a lot of cooking and people bring some stuff, but I cook a lot, it fills me up for 2 to 3 weeks. Just that having all these friends and laughter and sharing, and that's what we got to do. We got to make sure we fill our cup to be able to help others.
Mm-hmm. And I love what you're sharing. So, give a couple of tips. How do, like you mentioned, that you're working with the women? How do, like, women have that, jealousy factor aside, and how they can actually understand more that it's okay to have that time for ourselves? Because, see, I'm a little bit different. Like, for me, I'm myself. I'm asking for that time because I know how valuable it is. But like you mentioned, a lot of women do not do that, and a lot of women like want to be around their partners all the time. And obviously then, like something gets in their head, and they think if their partners are not with them, they're with another woman. What are the tools or the tips that you can give?
Well, the thing is, when you start working on this, first of all, we look at limiting belief. What makes you believe that he cheat on you? So usually there's
Mhm,
some things in the past we have to heal, and the things that it's a long process, but we work on that. So basically, you have to find what you love, right? First of all, so that you can take care of you and give some space to the person that might feel your jealousy. Jealousy is an emotion that comes from some hurt or something that happened to you in the past that created,
mhm,
and then we deal with that because it's under the limiting belief. But we kind of have to reprogram yourself. If you have a person that cheated on you a couple of times before, then you know you have a problem. But if
mhm,
you never cheated on you and you never have a reason, but you're still jealous, like I had one of those before, one partner that was, the closer we got, the more jealous she got. So that didn't make sense. But she had a lot of hurt from the past. And
mhm,
that's what we look at. Does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, okay, where does it come from? Let's fix it. Let's first look at your passion, and then let's look at your vision for your life on all areas of life. Like, we got to look at your health. Like, what do you have your vision in 10 years? Where your health going to be? Your personal life, and then the relationship, and then your spiritual life. Do you have a spiritual life that can support you? And your career. What do you do to bring money? What's your career? And then we got to make sure we look at that. So once you start to have a vision and you start working on yourself, then things start to go, and you have resilience. And then you start having your space, and a little bit of space for the partner also, to be able to enjoy each other when you're together, not being suffocated, or like, I can't go anywhere. She won't let me go anywhere. No, you can't go
mhm,
to bars and go party like you were a kid, but you can go fishing, you can go skiing, you can go see your buddies, you can go for coffee, you can do other stuff, right?
mhm, mhm. And I love how you shared, right? Let's go back to knowing your wants and your needs, your values and the goals. So I think it's very important for us to like really have the time for ourselves to reflect, either through the journaling or the solo activities, or something like revisiting our prior hobbies, just to have that like that time for ourselves and distinguish who we are outside of the relationship.
Yeah, journaling is one of the best tools. Like, first thing in the morning when you wake up is the best time, because your mind is still open. Like, you're not in a full
Mhm,
day. So the journaling first thing in the morning, you just write. And sometimes, oh, I don't know, just write anything. It's beautiful outside, it's cold outside, and just keep writing. And then all of a sudden it starts flowing. So once you do it a few days in a row, then you'll find things are flowing. And then things will emerge, like things that you might be frustrated about, or things you love, or things you're looking forward to. And they all start coming around. And yeah, journaling is one of the powerful in meditation. So we do different meditation in my classes and stuff. And it's really a lot of fun.
mhm. So let's dive a little bit into the healthy boundaries. We talked about, like it's important to have that time for ourselves, and how we can actually communicate it more in a way of expressing that with love but firm. And also, how do we deal in the situation when our health boundaries are tested?
Well, yeah. So it's hard to say no sometimes. I always go back to the mom syndrome. Like, you want to please
Mm-hmm.
everybody. The thing is, when you start looking at yourself, what you love, and that, I call it like a duck's back, right? So when people say, "Oh, you're mean now," you're not the same, and then because you don't say yes to everything, you're not a, a doormat anymore. That will create some friction. So the
Mm-hmm.
example I usually use is, when you're an alcoholic, you go drinking with your buddies, and all of a sudden you stop drinking. All these drinking buddies are gone. They don't want to be with you because you're not drinking
Mm-hmm.
anymore. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're a yes person all the time, and all of a sudden you decide, I got to get boundaries, but the boundaries have to come with understanding. So now, if you do the homework of what does it mean to be me? What is that love? What is that don't love? What is my time like? What do I say yes to? And then the first thing we do is, like, when somebody asks something, say, let me check my calendar. And at first they're going, what? Yeah, I have a calendar and I don't have everything with me. Let me check my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And then start to say no to things that do not fill you. Like, sometimes you got family, yeah, you feel obligated. Sometimes you're still going to do it, but you're going to start to say no to things that don't feel good for you, and things that take away from your time or takes away from your family. And I've dealt with a lot of, and I still got a friend that 2025, she made a lot of decisions in the last few months. And now she's cut down a lot of stuff she said yes to because she's the nicest person. But nicest person is just as bad. It's the pendulum, the other way of the pendulum, as being mean. So now you got to
Mm-hmm.
center. If you're a nice person, you're going to say yes to some things that are important to you, and you're going to say no to others. And at first, you're going to feel guilty. And that's what you got to deal with. And that's when we come in. That's why you need support. What is it you want in your life? Where do you see your life going? So once you start having that vision, you stop being pulled all different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Until that, you're all over the place. You got no time for yourself. Your spouse wants to spend time with you, but you can't because you have to go do help this person or do this for that other person. And now, when you have that vision of what you want in your life, then it gets easier to say no and to say yes, because now you have
Mm-hmm.
you learn some tools to really stop using. I'll check my calendar is one of the way you can really take a deep breath and stop. And is this important for me? Do I want to do this for this person, or do I want to be involved in this kind of exercise or group or whatever? And
Mm-hmm.
that are the best tools we can do. And to me, I always tell people you need a coach. Like, I always had coach for the last 30 some years, like mentors and coach, because you need support. If you try to do
Mm-hmm.
everything by yourself and you're tired and you don't want to do something, but your spouse or your kids they say, "Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on," you'll give in because you're tired. You don't have support. You don't have anybody to call. You don't have anybody to. What exercise could I do? What kind of meditation could I do now to get answers?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they'll wear you down if you don't have support. You have to have support. So to me, a lot of time I get a call. It's a 10-minute call. This is going on. Okay, what do you want to do about it? Is it part of your vision? Is it part of what you want in your life? Yes
Mm-hmm.
or no? If it's a no, it's a no. And if it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a maybe, then let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's different things, right? It's nothing is black and white.
Absolutely. And it's so important, like you bring people, the clients to, like these important questions, right? Is it like life given, or this is something that's shrinking you, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, the only way you know how to deal in this situation is when you are really having that support, having somebody by your side who can help you to really look into your life and give you the great guidance. You know what other question I'm having for you is how do we actually balance our quality time with our partner and time with the friends or the family?
Well, yeah, you got to decide which is important for you. When you have young kids, you don't have much choice because
Oh my,
until they're
yes.
16 or
No, no
16,
time whatsoever. Yes.
yeah, it's the spouse is after the kids. But then once it's there, you have to make sure the quality time is balanced. And like depending what your spouse job is, then you have to
Mm-hmm.
adjust. But the biggest thing is the date night once a week, and that's very
Mm-hmm.
important. And then little loving texts to your partner every morning, like the first thing before you do. There's a lot of things that we talk about. What is it that fits for you, right? And to me, the date night where you are with your partner is one big thing. But depending if you count, if you both of you are working 40 hours a week, you got lots of time to do different things. But if you have jobs that take more time and take you away, then you have to work it out, right? And I tell a story of one of my friend that his marriage was not going good, and at the time I was single and I was doing supper, and there was a lot of women, and he wanted to find somebody else. I said, well, you got a problem because you're a millionaire. So if your wife divorces you, you're going to lose half your money. You're going to have to change your haircut. You're going to have to buy better clothes. You're going to have to buy better cologne. And then when you're going to start dating, you're going to have to buy flowers and gifts and stuff. And it's going to be a big deal. And then you're going to have to work at it. And then finally, he started working at it with his wife. The first time, like when we talked, he brought flowers to his wife, and she looked at him and said, "What have you done?" right? What
Mhm.
have you done? Like,
Right,
nothing.
because it was so unexpected, right?
So then he started doing this, and started changing some of the clothes, and started doing the date night. Like, you couldn't do it every week because we were working, but at least once every 2 weeks there was a date, go to a restaurant and stuff. And then she was just shocked for at first. Then she started to remember that's how they used to be before the kids and
Mhm.
grandkids, because he was a bit older. And then one day I got a call from him. He hurt his back because they were on a cruise and they were getting frisky in the room, and he fell off the bed. This is the best hurt back I ever heard, right?
Right.
But the thing is, if you don't work at it, it's not going to work. And a lot of people
Mhm.
jump into married, okay, I don't have to do anything. But especially after you have kids, because when you have kids, kids take precedent, and also you forget about yourself. You forget about being challenged for the partner, right? Because when you start
Mhm.
dating, you're there, you listen, you go for dates, and then kids come around, it's like, you're just surviving. But then
Right, absolutely.
you have to do it once they start to grow up, like, no more diapers, and they start to get closer to teenage. Then you have time. Then you have to start working at it. If you don't
Mhm.
work at it, and that's why there's so many divorces, because people forget why they got involved in the first place. They forget how they were courting, how they were having fun before they decide to have children, and they have to get to that
Mhm.
place again. And that's very important, but it's different for everybody for the timeline, because some people, like, I was construction, so a lot of time you're gone 14 days, 24 days. I think it's pretty much gone now. But if you're gone 14 days, you come home for 4 days, you got to make sure you take time for your wife or your partner. Uh,
Mhm.
and then it's very, very important.
Absolutely. So let's touch on the point of communication, how important it is to communicate our wants, our needs, our desires, our, sadness or our cries. Share a little bit more on that note.
Well, before we used to talk men and women, but now it's more masculine and feminine, because there's men that are more feminine side and women that are more masculine side. So the men will be crying, and like, that's the feminine side. So that's what we
Mhm.
start working on, understanding that the things have changed. But um, the to talk to each other is very, very important. But we have to learn, like the five language of love. I get
Mhm.
everybody to do that. The five language of love. What's your language of love? Right? Is it a little gift, nice words, act of help around the house, or there's five language that. Which one is your partner? Like, you might be the little touch, soft touch. Your partner might be words. So you never say the right words, then he gets mad, but he never touches you, right? So that's the first thing I make people do. Five language of love. What is your language? Do you need to be
I'll
told?
pick all of them.
Yeah, but they
I'm
all have their order.
multilingual. I can pick all of them.
Yeah, but it's very important, because when we start to communicate, we have to understand we all have our baggage, we all have our triggers, and then when we understand that, like, to me, words mean nothing, because I've been lied to a lot. So I'm better now. I worked on it, but I had a partner that she needed to hear nice words. So it was
Mhm.
hard for me, because that was not my language. My language was little gift, or touch, light touch, come around and just
Mhm.
give me a hug or touch me. Or so once you understand what's your partner's language, then you can start to have a better communication. And then once you know the triggers, like, we all have our past where we had some things we're working on, then the communication can get better and easier. But
Mhm.
it's a process. And then when the person gets mad, I tell them, because I'm French Canadian, which we have known for bad temper. We work on it, and then once you get mad, you got to stop conversation. You got to walk away and give some breathing room. In the old days, we didn't do that. You just, like, kept going. It's like, who's going to win the fight?
Mhm.
But now you just know you got to walk away, give it what it needs, and then come back. And then and once you start learning those tools, learning the language, learning to walk away when it's not going good, to let the other person think. I'm a thinker. So if something triggers me, I need some time to process. Why did I get mad? Why did I get triggered by this? And it's never has to do with the spouse. Never.
Mhm.
It's always something from your past, or something that happened to you, but something that partner's doing is triggering that emotion that has nothing to do with the other person. So when you start understanding that, so you just walk away, let the person process, then come back later. Then you can say, "Are you ready now? Is it?" And they'll say yes or no. Sometimes say, "I need an overnight." To me, I'm a
Mhm.
nighttime when I go to sleep, I wake up morning with answers. Everybody's
Mhm.
different. But learning what is your partner's way of dealing with emotion to have the great conversation.
Mhm.
Because
I
when
love
you know what they love and what you love, you can start to.
yes. Let's come back a little bit to the passion. Like how important it is for each person to have the passion and how can it actually save the relationship.
Well, the thing is, once you define what's your passion, then not only you know who you are, like that is me. I love this, 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 and I can give you this, but so you got once this is defined, and that's where I see my life going, then the other partner can say, wow, I love this stuff too, and that's where I want to go to, or no. Like, it could say to me, I want to retire, I want to be in a condo. The other person would say, no, I want to be on the farm. Well, you're not on
Mhm.
the same page here. Like, what's going on, right? So can you find a middle ground or not? So to
Mhm.
find out who you are, then the other person you can deal with the other person once they know who they are. So if I know exactly who I am and they know exactly who they are, then we come together and say, okay, where do we go with this? How do we create our long-term vision? How do we create our future? Because when you put two persons' energy together in one, it becomes like a laser. Right? That's why I
Mhm.
tell people, like, you have to do your stuff first. What do you want in love, like in life? What is your passions? The other person do? Then we come together. Then there's the personal relationship of where you want to go together. But you have homework to do first before you can go with the other person and say, okay, we both want a nice, beautiful home and suburb of wherever. Then the concentration of energy is just like a laser, and things happen really fast. When you want to create things in your life and you're aligned with your partner, boys, that energy is so powerful. And that's when we talk about manifestation.
Mhm. Absolutely, yes. And I love everything what you are sharing today. So, tell any more, like, do you have any other tips for the listeners?
Oh my God, there's so much that we do. Like, because when you find your passion, then we really look at the limiting belief behind them. So you got to clean that up and reprogram yourself. In the old days, we used to say change the cassette, but the kids don't know what a cassette is. So we got to say the program. So we got to reprogram your mind a bit by using like power of the word, managing your thoughts. And then we start really creating the vision, uh, which anchors you in the future. It doesn't matter what kind of storm of life happened. If you have that vision, it's anchored in the future in all areas of your life, not just one area. Like I said, all the areas. If one falls, you still got three left, so you can stand. And the thing is, you create resilience. It doesn't matter what happened in your life. Once you start understanding how things work, when things happen, you ask the question, why is it happening? What am I supposed to learn from this? And move on, right?
Mhm.
And my friend was here today. I cut my finger really bad, my thumb on Sunday. And only Wednesday, it's already healed. Like there's no more pain, no more thing. And usually it's a 2 3 week thing the way it was cut deep. But we're doing the homework, we're doing the energy work. So
Mhm.
um, it is important to find coaches or classes. To me, I tell people don't believe a thing when you go in. Like I teach a lot of different modality. I'm a Reiki master. I do past life. I do so. I bring all this in my classes of different energy. But I start because I'm from the corporate world. I start more with the intellectual part, and if they want to
Mhm.
go further into what we call the woohoo, we go in the manifestation, the power of the word, and
Mhm.
affirmation, and all the stuff. Then you can go further. But to me, you have to be open and start taking classes or getting a coach. And to me, it's always like every time somebody comes to me, don't believe a word I say, try it,
Mhm.
experience it, right? If
Right.
I tell you something that works, try it. If you don't like it, move it along. So there's things. Being a great coach, you have to be a great student, and I'm always
Mhm.
a student in different things. And one of the things, if I try something and I don't like it, then I go all the way. Qigong is one of them. Qigong is an exercise that because I love Tai Chi and I was a martial art, I thought I would like Qigong, and I didn't like it. So I said, okay, I'm going to do a full weekend. I owe my friends a teacher. I did a full weekend, a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday all day. And the Qigong does tapping on your body, and I always reacted to this. So when came Sunday night, I told my friend, I said, "You're the best Qigong teacher I ever had. And he said, thank you very much. So now I'll never do it again. And he just looked at me. He said, no. I react to it. I know why now, but I needed to go all the way to say no. And I think that's the best way to do it. If something attracts you, try it. If you don't like it at first, go all the way to make sure you understand why you don't like it. You might come back in 5 years and like it. I might do it in 5 years and decide, oh, now it's good. But I always learn different thing, different modality. I'm always open for the different new things, which not too many are new because I started working with stuff from the 1925 to the 1940s. They all were coming back in different ways, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing them, I see them right away. Hey, this is from Bert Spalding, 1925, or this is from whatever. Who else is it? And it's to be open to learning and put yourself out there to just try things. Try things for free or really cheap at first, and see which one attract you. Like, don't go and spend thousands of dollars right away until you're really comfortable with what you want to learn.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Love it. Yeah. So for the listeners, just to see if they have any more questions, definitely comment in the comment section. And let's talk a couple of words about the giveaway.
Yeah, so well, I'm glad you're part of my giveaway. So we have a big
Mhm.
Christmas giveaway, and everybody did a little video. So uh, you'll have the link in there. Click in there, and there's 23 or 24 coaches in that giveaway. That it's all self-help, personal growth, and there's beautiful gifts in there, all free for our listener. And yeah, so we'll put the link in there. I got all my beautiful coaches in. Arena's part of it, and a lot of people that are just beautiful people that are giving beautiful gift. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be all through Christmas. We're launching it today, and it's going to go through all until January 5th.
Mhm.
It'll be a beautiful gift for Christmas for all our friends and family.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was very insightful. It was very inspiring. Thanks so much today for joining us and having this powerful conversation. And for everybody who is tuning in, I'm sure you receive something you wanted to learn. And remember that it's okay to be together and it's okay still to have the time for yourself because you are still two separate beings, and it's okay just to honor yourself and prioritize yourself, and that's exactly what makes the connection even stronger. Thank you so much, Jean-Luc, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.